Hey everyone, how's it going? Sorry about the delays there, was just getting some stuff set up. We have a freshly primed Bossk figure that we're going to paint up. Thank you for spending some time with me on Saturday night. I am looking forward to painting this guy. How are you all doing tonight? All right. Let me just get some reference photos pulled up here and we'll get ready to get started on this Bossk figure. I'm sorry for any booms, pops, or explosions that you might hear. People are still firing fireworks in my neighborhood, which technically is not legal, but hey, what can you say? Alright. First thing I need to do is we need to figure out what colors we're going to use for this guy. So I know obviously for the eyes, we're going to go with a Army Painter Dragon Red. I'm thinking for, let me dig through some things here and take a look. Let me turn off notifications. I got a new streaming computer today, and I need to turn off some system notification stuff. Alrighty. Let me look here and see what colors I've got that we can use on his uniform here. That's a possibility. Is a base tone and then highlight up for my sulfide ochre. That might, I think that's a front runner right now. I've also got a troll claws, but I don't think it's yellow enough. I think it's more of a tan color. And then, so I think we'll go with the sulfide ochre. And then his main body, of course, for his vest, the white vest part, we're going to go with a spaceship exterior. That tends to be my go-to quote-unquote white color that I use for everything. And then his skin. The stuff in the background is driving me nuts. Who writes a song called Voicemail? If you're watching, drop a comment in the comment box. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching while I try to get some colors figured out for this guy. Of course, we'll need my custom black here. I mix it up by the bottle. We'll need some gunmetal. But I've got to get this skin tone figured out. Let me look at another reference photo here. Sorry for my arms in the way. I could go for the darker brown Bossk look. I think I might do that. Yep. Or actually what I am going to do is I'm going to use this sulfide ochre and wash it dark brown. But for his fatigues, I'm going to use this moon dust instead. I think I like this color better based on another reference photo. So we'll go with this. Get it in shot. I can get it to focus. This moon dust, Army Painter moon dust. I think that's the color we'll go for. I keep changing my mind on his skin tone. I think this is what we'll go for on the skin tone. The sulfide ochre. And then, of course, we've got some leather brown up there that we'll use. And we'll pick a few colors out as we go. So, first thing I need to do is this sulfide ochre I've not used yet. So, if you are into using Army Painter paints, as I've mentioned before, I keep a small bottle of stainless steel agitators on hand. And I'm just going to drop it in my Army Painter paint. And that'll help mix it up a little bit. So, pull the dropper tube off. I tend to use my teeth to do it because why not? Squirt paint all over my hands as I put it back on. This stuff is like the color of the hot mustard you get from McDonald's. Alright, so since this pot's never been used, it's going to require quite a bit of shaking, so bear with me as I chat with you while I shake this bottle of paint up. So, like I was saying, I got a new streaming laptop today. The old ones were giving me fits if you watch some of the old streams. I hope things are coming through clear on your end. Let me know what you're seeing. If the music's too loud, if my mic's too loud, let me know what you're thinking. So, this is going to require quite a bit of shaking. I got a bunch of Army, well, I've used Army Painter paints. They're my primary paints, but when the War Store was going out of business, I managed to snag a bunch of bottles for about $1 a pot, or $1.50 or something like that. So I couldn't pass up. I've got them in a drawer right now because I need to 3D print a new, or not new, but I need to 3D print some more paint holders because they won't fit. So, best way I found to shake them is some good old-fashioned elbow grease. And looks like I've got it to where I want it. So, there's my ochre color. And we're going to start getting some paint on some miniatures here. So, happy Saturday evening to y'all. Let's get this guy started. So, decided to go with the one-handed and the Tox grenade setup. I know that's kind of the one that I've seen most people go for. I just think it looks better. And we'll get some paint on a miniature here. Again, drop me a message in the comments. Let me know you're here. I'd love to hear from my followers, watchers, I don't know what to call y'all. I think I'm hitting my... Yep. Hitting my headset onto the lamp above my head. Looks like my wife is watching, and then Tim, good to see you, man. Yep, I like this ochre on the skin of this guy. So, priming, I went ahead and went with a zenithal highlight, so it's not real strong, but you can see how I put white on top, gray on the bottom. Made it real easy. Hey Matt, yep, I am painting a Bossk. I needed to take a break from those dogs that I was painting. Starting to get a little bit stale on them, but I'll probably return to those tomorrow night, because I need to get those out the door for a customer. But Bossk is the new thing right now, so I wanted to go ahead and get it in while he's still fresh in everyone's mind. Joe, I use hot glue. Just a hot glue gun. Nothing fancy. To stick them on there, it is a hot glue gun, and then once the basting's all done, I use a super glue. Thanks for trying to answer that one, dear, though. Just a reminder that all comments are about 60-second delays before I see them. So that's about 30 seconds before I see what you say, and then 30 seconds before you hear what I respond. So bear with me if I don't answer your question right away. No problem, Joe. And as far as painting handles, mine are just something I found on Thingiverse and 3D printed a bunch of. Matt, you'll have to tell me what Arvo means, because yeah, I'm not familiar with that term. I need to, I've got the Walking Dead miniatures game as well. I actually bought it to play with my wife, and one day they'll get to the table. One day. I may take a break off of taking too many commission orders after Gen Con is over and work on some personal models, because I haven't worked on some personal stuff in a long time. So right now I've really thinned down this ochre because I'm wanting it to almost act like those new GW contrast paints, and really take, and really take advantage of that zenithal highlighting that I had put on the miniature. If you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. Drop a comment in the box, let me know you're here. One more coat all around. my comments aren't scrolling. I think I've seen the last days. And yes, dear, I know I have Harry Potter miniatures to paint too. I've got a lot of stuff to paint. My own Legion stuff.
They talk about another kind of world. Another kind of world.
What are you afraid of?
I'm lost in old ways.
Just working on getting a base coat onto this Bossk character.
I'm not afraid.
I also have Sabine primed up as well and ready to go. I doubt we'll get to her tonight though. Alright. Alright, so next color. We're going to do his outfit in Moondust. Give it a good shake, as with all Army Painter colors. And I already have a little bit on my palette, but I need some fresh stuff in there. Alright. I try to keep my palette off screen right now because the camera focuses on it rather than the miniature. See, if I put that there, when I pull the miniature up, it wants to focus in on the palette down there. So, alright, we will cover everything. I'm not going to be too clean because I'll go back in and cover anything where I got this yellow that I didn't want it there. Will get covered up with some spaceship white or other colors. So, I mean, I'm not going to cover it intentionally, but I'm not going to try to paint within the lines necessarily either. So. I really am happy with how far the Legion miniatures have come in quality. For some reason, my scroll's not keeping up with it. With the comments. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's see. So, I may have to pull up the stream on my phone and track comments that way. And with all yellows, this is going to take a couple coats on this to make it look decently covered. So, yeah, I'm real happy with these color choices. Right. Give me just a second, I'm going to pull up the stream on my phone. So I can see comments, because for some reason my computer's not. I've got to figure out if I'm missing a setting or something. Alright. Camera focus. Yeah. I figured out why I was having camera focus issues, and it's because it wants to focus on the brightest thing in the shot, apparently. I could turn autofocus off, but it's a lot more work, as far as making sure that I stay in frame myself. So we'll just go with it that way. Camera focus. Yeah, I mean, I've got. Oh, you don't want to hear me talk to myself either. Let me turn that down. Have I mentioned how much I hate painting yellow? Like, with a passion. Absolutely just abhor painting yellow. Yellow, white, red. Alright, here's where we're at so far. Gotta wait for some layers to dry. But here's where we're at. We'll get some more yellow on there as soon as that first layer dries. Missed some spots though. What kind of paint projects are you all working on? Leave a message in the comment, let me know. Also, if you haven't, feel free to share the video if you want, if you know somebody that would be interested in watching how I'm doing this. Also, I run a miniature painting group that you can find. It's called Miniature Painting Show and Share. Feel free to look it up, and I think it's a public group, possibly. Would love to have people that are into miniature painting over there and check it out. And one trick, since I don't like painting in small areas, is the arms aren't glued on, so I can take them off if I need to get to those areas that are tough to get to. Alright, let that dry for a second. And I think I'm going to use this brown. It's a oak brown. We'll use that for the stock on his gun. We're also going to use that, I think, for a couple other colors on him, but we'll get to that later. I'm just spinning around getting the idea of details and where things are going to go while waiting for the yellow layer of paint to dry. Also looking to see if I missed anything. So a lot of people when they're painting yellow tend to, or have a tendency to use a thicker layer of paint, and it don't do that. It really messes things up. Stick with your consistencies. Just make sure that you, or just know, not make sure, just know that you're going to have to do more layers than you would with, say, a brown or a blue. And just once you recognize that, it gets less frustrating. It doesn't mean you'll enjoy it as much. I still don't like painting yellow. It's not any easier with airbrushing yellow. It still takes a few coats. But at least you'll be more accepting of that if you work with those layers. And if you thicken it up, then you lose detail. So it's not worth the trade-off. Take your time and paint those layers on thin for the yellows. Alright. Pull his box out for inspiration in case I need it. I think while I'm waiting on yellows to dry, I can go ahead and get some metallic black onto his, I almost dropped him into my paint palette, get some metallic black on his gun. So pull some of my gunmetal over, give my brush a good wash, and pull some of my custom black over. Mix the two over here on the side of my palette, and that's what I'm going to do his weapon with. So, we'll see how long I feel like painting. Maybe we'll get this guy done tonight, maybe not. Probably be easier if I went ahead and just pulled his arm off, since it's detachable, but we can go touch up some things if I mess something up afterwards. Alright. There's a small spot I can see under the scope I missed right there. And in the hand well. Alright, there we go. Coming together nicely. Get a second coat onto the gun stock. Cover up a boo-boo spot that I messed up. Since I'm afraid that if I pull his arm off, I'll detach him from the paint handle, and I don't want that to happen, so. Alright. think for the Tox Grenade, I'm going to paint the whole thing just gunmetal. And then what I'll do is I'll give it a nice, like a neon greenish glaze after a green wash. That way it looks like it's glowing. Scoot over to the middle of my stream here. Alright. I need to pull up a reference photo again. Alright, so it's black around his ankles and wrists. Alright. I think I know what we need to do here. Excuse my dog's barking.
I just need some time now to get things clear now, to get rid of my doubts, to get rid of my fears. I just need some time now to get things done now, things allowed, things I want.
I'm putting the black down where it needs to go.
What's best for me, what's best for you. But if you fall, who's next to you? I'll do what's best for me and best for you. I know it hurts 'cause I'm hurt too. Another you.
Alright. One ankle down. Other side.
I just need some time now to figure out now.
Welcome to all of our new viewers. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. Drop a message in the comments. Let me know you're here.
Need some time now to think about now.
If you want. You don't have to. But it's much appreciated.
I do what's best for me, what's best for you. But if you fall, who's next to you? I'll do
I'm just putting some base coats in on this Bossk figure from Star Wars, for those who aren't familiar. He's a bounty hunter. Gonna have to go back in and touch up a couple areas. Got some on his arm there. Yeah, we'll have to go back and touch that up.
who's next to you. I'll do what's best for me and best for you. I know it hurts 'cause I'm hurt.
We'll finish putting this ring of black on, and then we'll go back over all of our yellow again with another coat. It's going to take probably one or two more to get it to the level of contrast I'm looking for. feel like I'm being quieter than usual today. Focusing on getting this guy painted up quickly. We've got quite a bit of paint work to do before Gen Con hits. And the week prior to Gen Con, I'm not sure how much painting I'll be able to get in. I've got family in town visiting. So, gotta get as much possible done over the next 2 weeks as I can. Alright. Spin my wet palette around and we'll go grab some of our Army Painter Spaceship Exterior. This is, like I was saying, this is my quote-unquote white color. Alright, and we're gonna hit this onto his vest and stuff. So this will probably take 2 coats as well, because white just doesn't cover. So we'll get this. We're going to get all the little straps around his body, but I'm not going to go too far into the straps until after that layer of yellow has finished drying, because I don't want to end up wicking some of this gray onto the yellow, because it's still wet. So we'll get this, and then take a quick look at some of their reference photos. But we're doing pretty well on our, is where we're at, as far as blocking in base colors. I think we're in a good spot. So these little connector things on his knee, it's right there, and there's one on his thigh. And the reference photos I'm seeing are black. So we'll touch them black. I'm going to try to remove his left arm without pulling him off of the hot glue base. Ta-da! Touch up somewhere that I touched where the paint wasn't quite dry yet. I thought that would have been dried already. Yeah, Matt, that's what I've got pulled up, is that's what I usually use. Alright, so that made it quite a bit easier to get in here to his spot, but what I also noticed is I splattered some, I'm just knocking into everything at my paint table, I splattered some paint onto areas where I didn't want it to be, so it needs a quick cover-up paint job. It also lets me see that the underneath his arm is not as yellow as I wanted it, so good thing I pulled that arm off. Give it a little touch there. And go back into my black metal and cover up some of those yellow spots. Alright, set that hand aside. Go into my black here. My long-term goal is to have a palette cam so you guys can see what color I'm mixing. So I'll have to, checked one out when I was looking at the computers, but it'll have to wait for a little bit. Probably till after Gen Con. Let's see what I got left monetarily after Gen Con. Alright. That's a couple areas where I got some black onto his arm, around the cuff, as I had said earlier. Not the neatest painter up front. I rely on my washes to help me out quite a bit, and then clean up during the highlight phase. So, a couple areas I want the yellow a little bit darker, namely on his lower body down here, and right on his back. His lower knee could use some more yellow too. Right below his knee. As I see lots of places that need more yellow. Like I said, I hate painting yellow. Just when you think you're done, it dries, and it dries. For some reason, it appears to dry clearer than when you applied it. And yeah, yellow. Yellow's a ton of fun. So, if you have any questions about techniques, things I'm doing, feel free to ask. I would love to answer those questions. Get the back of his hand here with some more of his skin tone. Alright. Back to our spaceship gray. Again, if you're just joining, thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. If you're watching this on record, feel free to try to catch us live next time. I don't have a set schedule for what I'm streaming now. Kind of right now it's as often as I can, because I'm trying to get things done in time for Gen Con. course, Bossk isn't completed. He's one of the few. Oh well. The reference photo I'm using is it looks to be a Kotobukiya. Yeah, Kotobukiya. From my experience, they tend to be pretty close as well. Alright. But on a Kotobukiya, it shows his straps as being dark gray, and then on the box art, it shows his straps as being the same color as his vest that he's wearing. So that's a conundrum right there. Trying to decide which route to go. I think I end up going the Kotobukiya route. Let me get this arm off as well. Make it easier to paint. His movie reference, the stills I can find are only a partial, so doesn't have anything lower body. And it depends on, well, I've seen a full body shot from the from different parts on the sets, and it really depends on what lighting he's under. So, but the main one is gray. I'm gonna go with the gray. They appear to be gray, and like I said, Kotobukiya tends to be pretty close on what they're looking for. So, I think we go with. I checked the 501st CRL. I pulled it up, and there's no images that I found under the Bounty Hunters Guild on there. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. It's close enough. I know the customer will be super happy with it either way, because this is not for me, unfortunately. But I appreciate you checking that out for me, Matt. Who else is watching? I would love to hear from you. Just say hi in the comments. That's all you got to say is hi. I mean, you don't have to say anything. That's up to you, but bled over in a couple areas. So I think for his straps, I'm going to go we'll go one step darker to an ash gray. Matt, I think Kotobukiya and the set photos are pretty consistent in that they're both gray. The box art is stylized, so we'll go with the gray. This is where we're at so far. I took his arms off for ease of painting. Welcome to everybody just joining us. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you. We're just blocking in our colors on our Bossk here. Yeah, I think gray was the right choice. For sure. Painting Bossk, absolutely. We're, I'd say, about 70% done blocking in the colors. Now the belt around his waist is more of a tan color, so we've got to account for that too. I got this one in the mail a few days back. I've got 3 more coming that I'm painting for customer. Well, 1 for me, and 1 more in the mail for me, and 2 more in the mail for customers. So this one is not my miniature. Get 1 more coat of the spaceship exterior on his vest here. Was it Doctor Who, or was it... I thought it was some other 40s or 50s space drama, but it was used somewhere else. I do know that. But I'm, for the life of me, drawing a blank right now on where it was. But yeah, it wasn't Doctor Who. I'm fairly certain on that. Alright. Ooh, glad I turned this arm over. I noticed a spot I missed under it. Was it from a Doctor Who that was that old? Again, I'm not recalling. I need to see what color his little... Of course, I can't see it on this shot. Or that one. He's got that hose on his back, and I can't find what color it is. The painting, Michael, I just started. This is probably my 5th or 6th night of streaming, maybe something around there. And it's really, I've just got a webcam facing straight down on my paint station. Nothing super fancy, with a laptop sitting on there and a lighting setup. Alright, we're going to do his belt, I think in that same... Nope, we're not going to do it in the same tone that I was thinking of. We're going to go with something just a touch lighter than that, or darker. I think we'll have to custom mix a color for that one. So we'll grab some skeleton bone, some of my oak brown, and mix them together. And that's the color I'm looking for. Yeah, I think it's going to be black. Gotcha. Well, when you get to it, a webcam can be had. This webcam, I think, was $50 US. Nothing super fancy.